Today we're going to make a mixed berry pie with a beautiful lattice crust. It is bursting with berry flavor. It just tastes like summer in a pie. There's strawberries and raspberries and blueberries and blackberries with a little bit of lemon and sugar and just a hint of cinnamon, all mixed together and baked to like just gooey and perfect pie perfection. Let's get into it. So, mixed berry pie. Could you just dump this all into a bowl, toss it together, put it in your pie filling, into your pie dish? Yes, but it's not going to be as thick and like nice, sliceable, beautiful pieces unless you pre-cook the filling. So we are going to do that, but know that you could absolutely dump it all in. You'll just have a looser, little like loosey-goosey pie crust or pie filling. That's fine. Whatever. So get yourself a pot. I've got blueberries. Now there's more blueberries than any of these other ones. Now you can mix and match the berries that you want in this pie. Very crucial to know, but you definitely want to do a majority blueberries because of the pectin that is in blueberries. So you are using some of that pectin from the blueberries and then a bit of tapioca to thicken your filling. So just know that you can mix and match, but you do want a substantial amount of blueberries. Raspberries. Blackberries, and strawberries. If they're small, you can keep them in the big pieces, like if you have tri-stars, or you can just slice them up. I've got sugar, I've got lemon juice, and then I'm going to do a little bit of cinnamon. I love like a little spice with my berries. I feel like it just kind of pulls it all together and just adds like a little je ne sais quoi. And then last but not least, we have tapioca. This is Bob's Red Mill. They all, to be honest, they all kind of thicken a bit differently, and so, you know, if you use a different brand, you might have to adjust the ratio a little, you know, just a little bit. I think it is best to allow the berries to kind of start to release their juices. They start to thicken nice and slowly, right? Like, just chill. And then you turn up the heat and boil, and that activates the tapioca, and you're going to get that final thickening property. If you boil immediately, then the tapioca is already going to be active, and you're not going to give your berries enough time to like, which we want, right? Or they will do that in the oven. So anyways, go ahead, start it on low, and just be patient. Once it kind of boils for about a minute, mine already boiled before, so it's already kind of, you know, thick. Then you are ready to turn that off. Now I've got a baking sheet lined with plastic wrap. You could also use parchment. You could use any sort of baking dish to kind of just cool it. But obviously you don't want to put hot pie filling into a cold pie crust and then expect it to be flaky. So you're going to cool this down completely, and then we will assemble and bake our pie. All right, so our mixed berry filling is chilling, and we are just going to go ahead and roll out our top and bottom crust. So get yourself a little bench flour. Since I'm doing a double crust pie and I'm doing a lattice, I kind of portioned a bit more of my dough for the top crust and a little less for my bottom crust, which means it should fit perfectly in here, but it might not fit into a 10-inch or something like that. But I do want to make sure that I get it to be a nice, even 1/8 of an inch thickness. So I'm just going to go ahead and start rolling. This is my all butter pie crust, which I made using the stand mixer method, but you could use any of the 5 methods that I give you. They all produce an equally delightful pie crust. So I'm just going ahead and I'm trying to keep it in a circle because obviously my dish is a circle. So go ahead and just kind of turn and roll, and turn and roll. Okay, yes, look at that. Gorge. Now, yep, that's gonna be gorgeous. Go ahead and take this. I don't love like the rolling pin transfer method because I find that it squishes your pie dough. I am more of a fan of the fold over my hand, fold back, and lift. And then you can like gently place her in her dish, and she's like, oh, I live here now. You do. So go ahead and kind of get that all deep in there. If there's like a bit that's not covered, then just kind of pinch it together. because you know your filling is going to find that hole, and then it's going to find its way out, and woof. But I'm going to give it a nice little 10-minute chill, just to make sure she is ready. At this time, I would normally prepare my top crust, but I've already done it. I've done a lattice, so you can watch my lattice tutorial up there if you want to see how I do it, or you just roll out another sheet of dough and place that on the top and cut some holes. You remember our beautiful filling here. We've got our pie that is chilled. We go ahead and kind of pull this off, and then we're going to take this filling and place it into our pie. One of the beauties of cooling it on plastic wrap is that you can then take it and just use it as a funnel. Yeah, watch this. Boom. Also comes faster. Spread this out. You want it to be nice and evenly distributed. You can see how thick and beautiful that's gotten. So as the berries continue to cook and like the blueberries pop, you're going to get a perfectly juicy filling. Then we are going to take our top crust, which we have chilled on parchment, and we're just going to transfer it. Now, because we chilled it on parchment, it is able to do that. I am going to kind of start on one side and pinch them together and kind of roll them under, right? Just give them a nice roll. You do want it to be tight, tight enough that you can kind of, it's not going to unroll on you in the oven, because that would be upsetting. Okay. All right, so now you've got your pie crust done, and we're just going to do a little bit of crimping. This also helps seal those edges and layers down, so you want to make sure that you don't skip this part. You can do it with a fork, whatever you want to do. But just do something to kind of press those layers together and keep them from popping open in the oven as they bake. You know that I love nothing more than a good sugared crust, so that is what we are doing. So just kind of brush it with that cream. Try and not, don't let it pool anywhere. It's a little tricky with the weird ornate lattice, but just persevere. It'll be fine. Let's hit it with some turbinado sugar. And by some, I mean a lot. Now, my oven is preheated, 350. If you took too long to do that, then you might want to chill your pie before you bake it. But I am going to pop this right in there. It's 350 convection. If you don't have convection, 375. And it's probably gonna bake close to 30, 45, but we'll keep an eye out. Our pie is out, and it is juicy and bubbly, and it baked almost an hour actually. I was really waiting for the top crust to get brown and to really see some bubbling in the center. You want to make sure it bubbles everywhere and not just on the edges. And so we're just going to let it cool completely before we slice it, and then it'll be time to try. It's time to try. We are ready. It is cool, and I mean it's like 93% cool. It's like a little warm like on the center of the bottom, but we're not going to let that stop us. No, we're not. Oh, do you hear the crunch of that crust as I cut through it? Oh, yes. It's bursting with berry flavor, with that crisp, flaky, buttery top, and like that little bit of extra sugar that we put on top. But just all the berries are just, oh, absolutely divine. The perfect summer pie.